Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Outlanders. We're up to episode 20 and today we're starting things off back at where the crystal is, because today we're going to be moving the crystal. Now I've set up quite a bit of a computing system down here and we need to do some calculations to figure out how we're going to get it from here over to our temporary storage, or our permanent storage actually, back at the structure we've been building in the last couple of episodes. So if we do a bit of inputs on here, we should soon see that a bar comes across here showing exactly how much we've got left to figure out that. So let's just do a bit more computations, and there should be some buttons down here, but they seem to have gone missing. Okay, so there we go. So if we just flick this here and there like so, do a bit of input on this, and there we go, we've got a little bit of a progress bar. So what we'll do is we'll just wait for a bit, and eventually the computer is going to figure out how we're going to get it over there. So let's move on to another part of another project for the time being while we wait for this. Now, something I was doing last episode along with Gamer, although I didn't actually get to record him doing stuff, was our iron farms. So as you can see, we've got 2 completed iron farm modules, and these have been pumping out iron quite easily. So you can see quite a bit of iron there. There's bit over 3 stacks there, or 2 stacks I should say. And over here on this other one, when I get over here, there should be about 3 stacks because I built this one out first. So let's just go over here, and the principle is rather simple, although the principle is rather simple, yeah, 4 stacks there. We've got villagers and compartments. They need to access in their workstations, and they can gossip, and the beds are all there, and then the golems all spawn up in those compartments and down into here. So a rather simple concept, although a little bit tedious to build because villagers. However, what we want to get done as well is to build another 2 on top. So what we want to do is we get one probably around that height, and the same on this side. It needs to be at least 76 blocks, so we will need to figure out exactly how high we're going to get that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would probably be about right. So we just need to figure out how to get up here onto this one and pillar ourselves up until about 80 or so blocks, and then build the platforms. For platform, I'm going to need more blocks. Alright, so get back here, bring as many of these as I can, and continue from there. Now, my understanding is it needs to be 76 blocks minimum from this block here, which is 2 or 3 blocks above this one, which is 71. So if we go it's going to be 80 blocks above, or 76 blocks above this one, which is 74 plus 76 is 150. So if we go 155, that should be more than enough, hopefully. Well, as you can see, I've started progress on these 2 iron farms, and I've got the bottom bit now done. We just need to get the villagers in before progressing to the next stage. You can see I haven't put in the glass parts, and that's mainly because these guys are just going to drop, and they should drop straight into these 2. If they don't, I might need to create a chute of some sort, but I don't think that will be necessary. Anyway, I've got a design question here. I'm not sure whether this one over here with the 4 pillars going up, or this one without the pillar there. I forgot to get rid of it. I'm not sure which one is the better design. I might need to firstly get up there and get rid of this pillar and see exactly what it'll look like, and then see from a distance which one's better, this one or this one. Now, having removed this pillar here, I'm starting to look at this and I'm thinking, it's a bit hard to decide actually. I'm thinking this one over here looks better from afar. This one looks better up close, because this one just floating in the air doesn't look quite right to me. So we should get ourselves the smooth stone and get these pillars in. Now that we've got these 2 iron farms up here, or these 2 still need their villagers, but now that we've built these bits, we need to figure out how we're going to get the rails up there. And now, like this, I'm probably going to need to use powered rail, so which means I'm going to need at least 80 pieces of powered rail and a few bit of the normal rails. So do I have enough gold? Probably. So let's get a fair bit of this out. That's 60. 60 gold. That's going to be not enough, I think. So maybe we need to get a bit more. And there we go. Okay, now we need some sticks and some redstone, which of course is going to be back at my base. Why do I always do this to myself? Now this next bit's going to be a little bit long, just slowly pillaring up the dirt and placing the rails. I'm going to do the dirt first and then work on the rails. So like this, and then this, it'll go up like this. So I need to leave one here and another one here and then go up like this, I think. So if I do that, then like that, like that, like that. So that should work like so. Oh, yes, that would work as long as I put the rail like this over there. And that's going to thankfully power all the way up to here, which is slightly annoying because then I have to power like this or like this. I want to make sure I get the maximum use out of these. There we go, out of these levers. So I'm going to go until I can't go anymore with these, with this dirt here, or this powered rail, and then continue on. And thankfully that lever down there that I've got just there is just long enough, though this one is not quite right, but it should be enough power to get it all around to this block, which is about halfway up, so we've still got quite a bit to go. That took a bit of time, but now we've got ourselves a rail line all the way to the top, so we just need to get our villagers in there. Firstly, though, I want to check to make sure that this rail line actually does, or is powered all the way. I need to make sure I'm not going the wrong way, so put it in, face the right way, and turn, and hopefully this takes me all the way to the top. So boom, like that, cross over, and yep, that works all the way up, a little bit more. Keep going through the clouds all the way up and into there and stop. So that works perfectly. So now we just need to leave some signs to make sure we don't forget how many in each, and we're good to start bringing villagers in. So this one needs 8, this one needs 4, and the other one needs 8. Now naturally the next bit we need to do is get ourselves some villagers, because I don't think I've got enough dirt or rail to build up a path for this one, so we'll have to do this one first. Now we're going to need to get ourselves some mine carts and some boats, and hopefully Gamer or Waffly will join us later to be able to do that, some of that with us or for us. So if we hop into this minecart, it should take us back over to our nether portal in order to get ourselves 20 villagers. As you can see, I've made quite a bit of progress in getting these villagers up. I think there are 4 in there. I'm not entirely certain if there's 4 or 3, but I guess we're going to find out later if there are 4 or 3. So it should be okay. Now we just need to get ourselves the thingamabob, this one, and put in some water, and then we should be good to move on to the other 2 compartments. Well, it took quite a bit of time, but I've managed to get myself 8 villagers in there, 4 in here and 8 in here. So now we need to progress with the next stage, which is of course getting the water in, not destroying the iron farm, getting the water in and the beds and all that. So let's quickly work on that, and then we should be able to get work started on the other side, which will take quite a bit of time. And as I start building up the second module of the second layer of the spawning platform, you can see we've got an iron golem in there. We did have a second one. He seems to have already fallen off in. Let's see if I can push this guy into the killing chamber without falling in ourselves, and there we go. So he falls in directly into the lava and he dies. So that is good work for us. Now there is a couple more things that I need to say as I do this bit. It's that these iron farms only work if you're within 40 blocks, or 42 blocks I think it is, vertically. So on the middle axis, the y-axis. Now that obviously means this one below us is 80 blocks below us. Now that means we have to build a little platform somewhere close by, which is 40 blocks, at least 40 blocks between the two, which is roughly halfway up this thing. So we should be able to do that in our little island, which is on this side here. So that will be one of our next projects after we're finished building both of these modules. And there we go, this module is done, the water below it is done. We've just got to get rid of all these rails down here and start work on the other modules. So I'll probably do most of this bit off camera and move on to the next part of today's episode. I changed my mind a little bit. I've still got a little bit more work to do here. So mostly that is just about finished. I've got this one just about done. I do want to get myself the AFK platform done over here. The very basic platform before we figure out how we're going to make it look a little bit better. I've got a good idea for it, but that will come later. So firstly, we need to figure out exactly how high we can have it. We need to get this exact because it cannot be, the platform needs to be 42 blocks, no more than 42 blocks. So we've got, this one is at a little bit 72, which means we can't have it above 110, 112. And if we go up, that's 150 something, I think. So we might need to come down and go up, back up to there and see what it's at. And it appears this one is at 153, I think. Yes, 153, 154. So we can't go below 150 or 110. So that's going to make it very, very finely placed. Very, very finely placed beds, I think. So let's see, this is 153, minus 42, 110, 111. And if we go back down here, we can't have this one. This one's at 172, 73, plus 42 is 105. No, 115, I think. Let me just get my calculator out. So if I'm correct, this needs to be between 110 and 116, which gives us a little bit of leeway. So I think, no, it needs to be above 110, below 116, I think. So so that is going to be pretty okay. So we just need to find ourselves a good platform at 112 or so, and it should be able to spawn both. So if we just get ourselves up to that level and sit there for a little bit, we should be able to see golems spawning at both this one and this one. So let's just get ourselves up there, so 110 odd, and we'll see how we go. And now the waiting game begins. Now I did see a golem dropping down earlier, so we should be within the distance for the top ones. It really matters for the bottom ones. Now I'm really hoping that a golem spawns on the top compartment here, and that golems start falling on the bottom. Otherwise I've built this all and it's not going to work, which is going to be a big pity. Now I cannot be certain that these golems are actually spawning down here because I'm just out of render distance for these things, but if I come out this way a little bit, I should get a little bit closer to them. Now it just matters that about the height, I believe, so the vertical or horizontal distance doesn't matter. So if I come out this way a fair bit and come a little bit closer to this one, I should be able to see some golems spawning in this one, but I have definitely seen them spawning up here, and they despawn there, and yes, there we go, there's a golem there, so we are definitely good at 113 or 112. I decided to go up by 1 because I was slightly closer to this one than I was to this one. So that is working like a treat. Now we just need to figure out how we're going to do our big project here, which we'll probably do in a future episode. So after building all those things, which took quite a few hours, I'm pretty sure the computer back at our base just behind us has figured out exactly the stuff we need to do or the coordinates it needs to go to. So if we can just make our way over there now, we should be able to see a full green bar and put in the right computations to send the crystal back to its new home, or to its new home, not back to it, since it's never actually resided there yet. Okay, the big moment. Let's see if the crystal or the computer has figured out the crystal, and yes it has. That's a full green bar just across the top. So that is good news indeed. So if we just look into the computer schematics, we should be able to figure out exactly what we need to do. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to show you these instructions because they're very, very secret. We're very shh about it. So I've read them and then I've destroyed them. And the crystal instructions are to flick a couple of levers, go behind there, and do a couple of other stuff. And then we should see it just magically disappear and go off to its new location. So let's do a couple of this. Click on that, look at that, flick that and that. And it should have disappeared. Let's have a look. And there we go. It seems to have worked. The crystal is no longer in sight. So all we need to do now is go back to our secret location somewhere off in the distance and see if the crystal has made it over there. And here we are. Let's just hope the crystal has managed to make it here, because I don't want to have to go finding it, because it could also end up in the wrong hands if we're not careful. So we've got ourselves a room which we haven't really touched much since here. We've got to go through the decontamination room. Let's just give ourselves a bit of a wash. Probably should put water in these, but I'm afraid it's going to splash everywhere and do that. So actually let's go in here. And there we go. And it did actually do that, but that's a little okay. Somehow that moved, but okay. Let's get rid of that, put on the armor. I can't put on the chest plate, which is a little bit annoying, but that should hopefully be okay. Get the armor stand and put on the remaining piece of decontaminated material. Okay, there we go. And here we go. The crystal seems to have made it, and it is a little bit bigger than it used to be, which is slightly concerning. Hopefully this chamber is big enough, otherwise we're going to have to build it a bit more. So let's keep an eye on it and go into these two observatories to keep a better eye on it. So back into here, take off our decontaminated stuff. 1, 2, and not like that, like 3. Give ourselves a wash again, and yep, there we go, and get out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get ourselves out and into box number 1 for a little bit of a look as well, and we'll put our armor back on. Now, one thing I put off last or a couple episodes ago was a little bit of terraforming. Now you can see that this thing is actually built way above a ravine and there's quite a bit of gap here. So what we really should be doing is making this look a little bit better on the outside, making it come down nicely. And I forgot a shovel, didn't I? So what we're going to do now is just slowly make this into a nice thing. I think we'll just work layer by layer, so we won't really bother putting anything underneath. But what we'll do is just do a little bit of a line like this around here and try and make it natural-ish looking. So, and being careful of the ravine which is just over there, because we do not want to have to fall into that if we can avoid it. So something like this should work well. Our biggest problem is going to be what to do with this huge ravine here, because I don't have enough dirt to fill it up, and I don't want to waste 2 entire shulker boxes worth of sand and gravel, or 4 shulker boxes of sand and gravel just to fill it up. So that neither of those are a solution. So we're going to have to be careful and figure out what we're going to do here in this bit. Okay, so I believe I've used all the dirt in my inventory, or hopefully I haven't, because there's still a couple more blocks here and there, but we've got ourselves a reasonable interpretation of what this should look like, a sort of terraformed land. So it doesn't look the best in the world, but I think it looks pretty reasonable, and although it is pretty clear that this thing has been built, custom built, I'm not the best skilled at doing this kind of thing, so hopefully we can get someone who is a little bit better at this and can help me with that, so that would be great. And our final bit for today is to start putting a little bit of grassy type of stuff around here. Not just this grass, but some tall grass. So if we turn this all into bone meal and just start spamming the bone meal, this should make it look a little bit better. Although we can't really help the stuff, the grass, the short grass that isn't grown yet. And yes, I did see the creeper there. Good, it didn't blow up stuff. So if we just continue this like this, it should look a lot better. And with that, I'm going to bid you good day, because unfortunately we've run out of time for today. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share with all your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.